Hi guys, welcome to the 1 in 20 show. My name is Evan Rogers, and today I have a very special episode and group of people. It's the cast of Greetings from Los Angeles, the show that my brother created and I'm directing, and all of his friends are in it. Today we have, to start, Gabby and Abby, Gabby Cario and Abbey Thomas.
Hello.
2 of the 11 of the group. And I wanted to start out just talking about, I feel like out of the cast, now there might be a lot of heat because of this question, but out of the cast, I feel like I've seen a lot of drive from you two.
Yeah.
And by that I mean like motivation. So I wanted to talk about that, if you guys want to trade off.
Yeah, of course.
What motivates you in this world of like musical theater and in general, what are your big motivators?
Well, I definitely have to give a lot of credit to my mom. She's owned a theater company all her life. I came out of the womb doing theater, so I have to give a lot of credit to her. But also, I've come, along my theater path, I've come along a lot of mean people, and I think I think they really...
My face was just really...
I mean, I think both of us can say that we've had a lot of people underestimate us. I've had people say I don't deserve what I get. I
guess my question is right. See, I figured that. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of our cast could say that too. I think everybody feels that way. But I felt that way about you guys because I've seen you guys channel it the most is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I've had people say I pay for my parts in companies I come to. I've had people say I don't work for my parts, and that's not true. I work very hard. I try very hard, and I think that's what drives me the most is. But not, it's not all, it's for myself, I this is what I love to do. And so that's really what drives me the most. It's what I want to do with my life. So.
All right, Gabby, you want to swing the mic over to you?
Well, when I've been performing for a lot of my life too, but I did ballet for like 6 years, and I started to realize that I hated ballet, but I loved performing. So I switched over to musical theater, and that's when I started doing community theater and high school theater. And I don't know, ever since then, I've just been really driven. And thinking about college was really big for me because I want to further my education. I love learning, and I think that college has always been like one of my primary goals. Also like making it on Broadway, but
everybody dreams. Yeah, everybody
which is a dream for a lot of us,
sure.
I think. But yeah, the underestimation is like big, I've been dealing with that for a while, and I think I started like, instead of just being sappy over it and like crying all the time because I was like, I'm never gonna be good enough, I started like channeling that into my work. And like when I played parts like Joe in Little Women, she's very underestimated, so it was such a good part. But like that's kind of like, I've used it as fuel rather than just like being upset over it. So.
Yeah, and I've seen even just for my short time doing theater with you, because there's a bit of an age gap. I mean, I'm 20, you're just turning 18. I'm about to be 21. Abby's 16. But doing theater with you, this leads into my next question too, is just kind of more of the underdog story, not you specifically, but I remember there being a group of kids like you and like Jesse Pryor and who's in the cast and some other kids who were just kind of always around there. And you guys were probably a lot younger. I mean, at that point, you guys were probably 15, 16.
Yeah.
And
you're young.
It was like you'd audition for all these parts. And I was of the perspective that anybody really should have gotten roles if they're talented enough, but of course there's always politics.
So many girls.
And there's so many girls. Like
that's always been an issue,
Right. So how did that motivate you specifically? Because something we were going to talk about too is you got accepted in NYU, which is amazing. How did that whole thing? How is that a big story that leads into your future?
Like, when I was younger, my mom would always tell me like, don't give up, and I didn't like throw that away. And I was doing Escape for so long and like not getting parts ever, and it wasn't because I was untalented, but there were so many deserving people, and I was like 12 to 15. And so finally, like when Joseph came around and like when all those people had left, it was kind of like our time to like step up. And
yeah.
ever
What
since
year is that? That would have been
11th grade. I was in 11th grade.
So 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Last year.
Yeah, it was actually not too long ago.
Yeah, not very long.
But like ever since then, I've been playing some really great parts. But that kind of taught me, like when I was in the audition process, that once I was rejected from so many schools. Like yes, I got into a really great one, but I had so many rejections. But every time I got one, I wasn't that upset about it because I was used to it in a sense. Yeah. And that kind of like made the process just a little bit easier, as hard as it actually was. Like I wasn't upset over every single rejection. I was like, okay, there's more to come. And so when I did get like my acceptance, it was like the best feeling, because that's like that's what happened in Joseph. Like I like bawled my eyes out when that cast list came out. I was
that
was
literally the best.
Well, that's where we met too.
That's where we met.
I'm gonna put it in the middle.
Yeah. You can throw it in the middle.
That was like the amazing.
And she was brand new. Right away, she got in part. She's very talented.
Well, and that actually is perfect segue into Abby. You can swing it over to you. Abby, I was gonna say about you something that stuck out to me in the time that I've known you, which hasn't been very long, but is that you definitely have one of the best voices I've heard for somebody at 16.
Thank you so much.
Which I mean, it is a compliment toward your nature with growing up and doing it your whole life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the more you've done it, the better, right?
I was freshman, so I think it's 15. No, actually, I think I just turned 15.
15 when you got narrator.
Oh, you know what? No, I was 14 because I turned 15
You got narrator at 14.
And I turned 15. No, or that one I turned 16.
You turned 15 during it. You turned
15 during okay, yeah, I was 14.
Which is, I mean, either way, that's still,
Thank
crazy.
You.
But I wanted to ask you, you mentioned already growing up in it, but how do you think, how did you build up to where you're at now?
Well, I work every day. I work very hard at what I want to do. It's my passion. It's the one thing that just, it truly fulfills me. I've thought about it because, I was born into it. I've been told by my mom, she would always say, you can do other things. And I tried so many other things. I think I did archery for like a year. I did horseback riding. I tried everything. And I was like, Mom, this is like the only thing I want to do. This is literally the only thing that'll fulfill me. And so I just work at it every day. And I think another great thing about growing up and doing it is I got a lot of leadership skills. I've started teaching with my mom, so I feel very confident in leading a room, and it's definitely helped me with audition processes. I don't feel like I need to back down. I feel very I can just be confident in group settings, and I'm really truly blessed to be able to be born into that family. I think about it every day. I'm like, wow, if I don't even know if I would be here if she just never done it. And I just it just astounds me, fate in that way, because I just couldn't. I don't know where I would be doing. I don't know what I would be doing. I just kind of be I don't even know. I'm a weird kid, so I don't even know where I would be. I don't know.
No, it's it's cool though, because I think something that a lot of you guys that I've been learning, just being not living on my own yet, but getting close to that point where I finished high school and finally had some independence, and I know a lot of you guys are coming into that area. But I think, you face your demons even harder once you hit that road. Yeah. But in the same right, I remember feeling a lot more confident because I started gaining, you start to figure out okay, I can beat these things. Gabby, this is a question for you. How do you feel about, kind of tackling that next step in New York with just life and everything? Because you mentioned earlier, it just gets even harder, right? More rejection and more. So how do you feel about that?
I'm nervous. I've been it's starting to hit me slowly because we've been all hanging out so much, and then I'm like, oh, in a month that's not gonna be what's going on.
I know we got the show this weekend, and
I know, and that's it, Yeah. But I've been thinking a lot about living on my own and not being able to go to my parents if I'm feeling upset or if I need help, and that's been something.
You
still
can.
I mean, I can, but they're not right around the corner in my bedroom. They're all the way across the country. But I think I'm nervous, but I like to channel that into excitement. So I don't know. I've always been told that being nervous and being excited is basically the same feeling. Yeah. So I'm trying to push it to the excited side, but at the same time, it's inevitable that I'm going to be scared to move all the way across the country by myself. But I think that I'm going to have fun, and I think that I'm going to learn a lot. Like I'm most excited to learn more about myself because I still don't think I know everything that I'm capable of. So I think that I'll start to figure that out a little bit more throughout the years. But that's what I'm actually looking for.
Yeah, and I think that's neat because I was just thinking too, there's so many people heading or who are already there that we know from just Santa Clarita, this area, which has been such a cool thing to see. Even just me and Travis moved here 7 years ago from Burbank, and it was cool to see how this community has grown in 7 years in the arts and how they've supported it better. But friends like former friends that we used to act with, like Noah Ozuna, Camden Espino, Kayla Burson, and all kinds of people, and Jesse Pryor also is going to New York, which is awesome. Anna Lieberman, Mikey.
There's a lot of us.
Mikey Burson.
I think that's what makes it a little less scary because, like, if I do get homesick, I know Jesse and Anna. I was literally like born with Anna, so it's kind of crazy that we're both going to New York. Yeah. But that's the nice thing. Yeah. And we already planned. Should I do this? I have like a reminder on my phone when the Wizard of Oz cast list comes out, or the callback list, so that we can like guess the cast list together.
Oh, that's sweet.
Over like dinner, because like we've been doing it for so long. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna make our predictions.
I'm excited. So I'm excited to hear that. But so pass over to Abby. So now Abby, I know you've got 2 years.
Yes.
Right, junior year at Valencia.
This is my junior year.
And you're the head of.
I'm head of musical there. Yeah.
Yes, which is awesome. So you're prepping D-Task and all that stuff. How do you feel? How do you feel about your direction? Because obviously audition prep for school starts happening now if you're smart, right? And I know you do that, and Travis is working on that, and a lot of other people, Justin, and all kinds of people, Ella. But I know that I'm gonna have Noah on next week, and he was one of the most committed people that I had ever met, who was doing all APs and doing auditioning to I think he auditioned to more than 10 schools. Wow. He went up to San Francisco and did the whole audition thing. How do you feel about just knowing the future's coming, right? How do you feel about getting there?
I'm kind of impatient. I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching everyone go through everyone go through their audition processes, and we're a mess. Yeah, a little bit, but honestly, like the audition processes like excite me so much. Like I think it's like so much I don't know, honestly it's so much fun for me to like it's so much fun to pick out songs. Like it's just one of my favorite things. Like I just recently had an audition for Spring Awakening, and
she got it,
and I got it.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And thank you. And it was
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah. And it was and it was just, it's a lot of fun, and I love thinking about the future because I mean I've already got schools like lined up and where I want to go and like what I want to sing, and I'm really impatient. I wish I was going off with them. I'm really jealous.
It's also sad.
I know. It makes me sad. Like everyone's going and doing what they love.
Like I think 4 of us are seniors and like the rest aren't. I don't know how much that is. I can't do math.
You mean the cast, right? You're talking.
Like a lot. Like half of us are like leaving, and I think that's difficult for them because like I know Ella, don't look at me. Like the other day we were all like crying in rehearsal. It was so sad, but I think that I couldn't imagine like not going away and like having to watch all my friends and like but I know they're gonna kill this. I know it. Like
I mean the next generation picks up where the other one left off, right? I mean we didn't know, my class didn't know how Escape was going to continue after, and you guys all stepped in, and then now the next group's going to
grow so big.
There's so many amazing
and not even just like Escape. There's so many companies that are sprouting up, which I think is really great.
How about the local high schools are crazy?
Oh, I know, and like that's why I love this. Like I love and hate this town, but I really love it because I think the art is just getting bigger and bigger, and like not even just theater, like actual art too. Yeah. And, like,
well, and I feel what you were saying, Abby. If you want to pass it over to her, I feel what you were saying when you said that you were kind of like just ready to go out and do it, right? I'm in that position just with college. This is my last year, going into my last year already, and I'm getting done a year early because I put all the effort in to just get the stupid gen ed and all that stuff out of the way so I can graduate. Because I just want to get out on film sets, and I want to do this stuff, and I want to keep doing it.
That's amazing, yeah.
How do you feel about, like, is the goal New York? I didn't ask really what you were thinking as far as school.
I mean, definitely, like, the end goal, like, would be to go out there and be on Broadway. That's just, like, it's inevitable. But, like, that's not, there's a lot of amazing schools.
Michigan.
Carnegie Mellon will always be my top school because I just.
Have you looked into CCN at all? I'm curious. Like Ohio has really good theater.
Yes,
there.
I know what you're talking about.
And what's the Baldwin Wallace?
I've been looking at that, and North Carolina has a really great program.
Oh yeah. I've heard about
it. It's like people have been really talking about it, and like
I applied to that school. It's so cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's actually really great.
All of these national companies now from Broadway, like that used to not be really a thing.
Yeah,
you have to be like Hamilton big, like Chorus Line and all that used to tour, but like. Now every company is touring. And it's cool to see how theaters are growing.
Theater is getting, like,
it's amazing, honestly.
During our we went to Unifieds, which is like
Unifieds. That's what's in San Francisco.
It's actually in. I don't know if it changed, but it was at LA this
year.
Oh,
it was okay.
And there was so many people there, and I was like, this is not even like a third of how many people are auditioning for like these schools. And I think theater is just growing and growing and growing. Like,
what a blessing.
I love it though, because then it's like it's opening up our opportunities more. Not even just being on Broadway, not doing regional tours, but there's so much theater going on.
Oh my gosh, can they please take people away from the film world, because that's driving me nuts. You know, there's just acting for screen is crazy right now. It's too much. I think it's way too much. But it is cool to see that draw.
Yeah, because like big shows like Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, they're growing the audiences. I think like my friends even are going to see shows now. Like my school friends that aren't theater people, they're like science people, but they're like, oh, I love that show, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's because
I've been here.
It's because musicals are becoming so much more contemporary.
Like they're going on TV, like the live musicals. I love that because it's kind of exposing us a little bit more, which is great.
Yeah, I'm just like glad. Like
it's becoming hip to do musical theater, you know.
I'm just glad. I'm just glad that people are I'm just glad that people are finally seeing like the importance of theater. I think people underestimate like the power that it has. Like it can truly change people, even when you're not a theater person. Like you just like there's shows that people see that like just change people's lives. Well, it's honestly amazing. It's so
relevant right now because of everything that's going on, and I'm not gonna get into politics, but like this world is kind of like crumbling a little bit. But I think like theater is kind of like raising up everybody and like bringing us together. Like I don't know one person that's like, oh, I hate Hamilton. Like everyone like loves that show, and we all love it together. It's kind of bringing us together as a world,
absolutely,
as a society. I don't know. I think it's great. I think
it definitely is. Okay, so now we're getting toward the end of your 20 minutes. So let's talk favorite. I put this down just for both of you guys. Alto and soprano. Who is your favorite alto or soprano? You could pick, but somebody on Broadway.
Mine's
all
like
time.
Middle. Mine's like a belter.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, I think both of my favorites are like middle.
Because I love Lindsay Mendez.
Sun Foster's my mom.
Passion.
I could see you playing something, Lindsay.
I played Jan. She played Jan. Love to play Rose. Like there's so many parts that I'm starting to like see. Like I want to be her. I think I'm seeing Carousel, but I don't know if she's going to be playing Carrie during it. I hope she is.
Are you? Oh, you're going to see it?
When my parents got us tickets because we're going out with my aunt because she lives in New York City. But we got really good tickets, so I'm hoping she's playing it that night. But I think she is. It's a Saturday matinee. So I don't know.
I love her her Broadway.com takeover.
Oh, I know. Have you watched the one right now? The Carrie Diaries. I think that's so cute.
That is so cute.
I know.
I saw the Carrie episode on Riverdale, and it was so dumb. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. I was really upset about it.
I thought the ending was really good.
It was because they had
she like dead.
They had
the casting was off. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't like how they casted the show.
What's her face as Carrie?
I don't know why. What's her name? The blonde one should have been Betty.
It was just dumb.
She was a good Sue.
Whatever.
No, it just
Abby,
was wrong.
I know.
Abby, favorite.
Carnegie.
All right, calm down. Favorite soprano or alto? I guess this could be favorite Broadway actor.
Yeah, because
actress.
I mean, I would have to say like for soprano, it would probably be Laura Osnes because of just like the way her voice is like butter. But like also, I think like just my favorite Broadway person in general will always be Sutton Foster. I thought
you were gonna say that.
She will always be.
She's young Mendez and young Foster maybe. You guys both look similar too. Like you have similar.
She's like because I'm
voice types.
I'm tall. Like I'm almost 6 foot. And she's like one of the tallest Broadway actresses, and it makes me feel like really good.
Everything.
Yeah, and she can literally do everything. And
that's why I like Lindsay. We're so that's why I like she's not like the typical like musical theater person. Yeah, sorry. But like I think that's why we both kind of like our people because they're like us.
Okay, last thing.
Oh, okay.
Favorite musical. Abby, you start.
Oh my god! Wait! Surprise.
This is okay.
Oh, I know.
Make sure you're near the mic too.
I had to think for a second.
You want me to go?
Gabby
you
can go
right now.
Okay. I like 2. It's not my favorite anymore, but I loved Once for a while.
2 counts for 1, I guess.
Which I forget who it's by, but Once, it's so good. The movie's really good too.
Oh, did you say Once?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I know what you're talking
I
about.
saw it at the Pantages. So good.
Jimmy Moreno's in that. Right now.
Yes.
Remember
we
Not
were
on
there
Broadway,
for
but
well, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a good production. Like I'm really
But
excited.
wait,
He said I think he said the dates got pushed. Like even there.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
love Once. It's so good with everyone playing the instruments
wonderful.
on stage. That's sick. But my other one is Ordinary Days, and
I don't know if I know
so
that. It sounds
underrated.
familiar.
So good.
I just
It's
know
like
that one
4.
song you sang. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, I sang like this song. It's called Calm. Look it up. It's really good. But
okay.
the character Deb is just she's so great. She kind of reminds me of like a young Kristen Chenoweth. I don't know. Well, it's a good musical. It's really
I'll have to look that up. All right, Abby, want to finish this?
Okay.
Close this out.
So I probably would have to say, well, right now I've just been listening to a lot of Spring Awakening just because I just kind of forgot how amazing it is. It's literally
It's a great
amazing.
show.
Also,
I
I love Bright Star. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Was that a show or is it a cabaret?
No, it's a musical, and they like play the
Yeah.
instruments on stage. I saw it at the Almaton with Carmen Kazak. Do you know? She plays like the mom in Carrie. She's literally amazing. She's the greatest human being ever.
Yes.
She sings with so much passion. It's literally amazing. And like that show is just like one of my dream shows. I would love to play that part. Like it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Gabby and Abby, thanks for
Follow me
opening.
on Instagram at Gavizagram.
Abigail 2 L's Kate on Instagram.
I have to plug in somewhere.
You guys plug away, I guess. We'll be right back with more cast members. Hi guys, welcome back. Right now I have with me Ella and Jesse.
Jesse.
That was all your nervous energy for the spot. So I want to start out on like more of a funny note because you guys kind of have like the comic relief joy of being in the cast. So what is skip and strip? Because you never did it in the takeover for our page. So what is skip and strip?
Short version, it's our alter egos. But how it started, we were both in a production of Music Man together, and we weren't super close. But production week, we got like insanely close. We just like clicked. It was super fun. But then I was
Entangled.
backstage. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Seriously, it was
We're
weird.
the
It was
same
really
person.
weird. Go.
But backstage, I just started doing this really like weird voice.
It's like a little boy. It's
Yeah.
like a little boy.
And then I made a name for it. And then I was like, Jesse, join in on this. So then we made like Skip is a Boy Scout. I'm Skip.
Okay,
she's
now I'm
Strip.
getting this. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so we're brothers. And Strip's the quiet one. Strip doesn't really talk. Skip talks for him, but he has
Assumes
mind
role
powers.
play. Assumes role play right now.
So that's kind of the main gist. But as soon as we thought of it backstage, we were telling everyone about it. Everyone. So yeah.
Just everybody.
Every
Everybody.
single person.
You stop somebody in the hall and be
Seriously,
like,
like,
have you heard of skip and
And
strip?
on stage. We would do it on stage,
On stage
too during
to
the
each other.
shows.
It was so fun.
During the
During the-
Oh, you mean
well,
in
'cause we were
ensemble?
like in the I can't. You can't do it on cue. We can't do it on cue. No.
It just comes up.
Yeah. We can't do it on cue. We can't do it on cue.
Sorry.
Well, if you can't do it on cue, then we're not gonna continue with it. But now you know what skip and strip is. If I don't know if anybody really would have known what that was before, but that's
The world knows, Evan.
now the world the
knows.
people who know you know that.
Yeah.
So there you go. So when we share this out, you can be like, you guys, you can now know who they are. So I wanted to talk about, this is a similar question to Gabby and Abby, but how has theater inspired you throughout the course of your life? And I want to start with Jesse, because Jesse, you come from a similar background as Gabby in that
Yes.
you've been doing it
Well,
forever.
I mean, I grew up in an acting class. My dad actually had an acting studio when I was growing up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that, but like when I was really young, I used to sit in on like the adult classes, but it was like in a movie, like I was behind the curtain just like watching them, and I was like I was so inspired by them.
Yeah.
So I continued that with another theater company because my sister was in it.
Yeah.
And I was obviously like, there was older kids, like what you talked about. There was older kids that you like always looked up to, and you're like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. But like, you have to wait for your opportunity.
Right.
And I did, and then I started getting roles with like all my friends, and yeah.
That was history.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens next.
Right. And you, a little background for the people who don't know, you're going to Marymount,
Yes.
Manhattan, which is awesome. It was very exciting.
Excited.
And we'll probably touch on that a little more, but if you want to pass it over to Ella, I'm not really familiar with your background as much in the arts or in theater, so I don't know if you want to go into that.
Basically, I kind of, like Emma and Abby, grew grew up with it because my dad went to Juilliard and my mom went to USC.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so they both were in theater. And I honestly, I started with Emma and Abby's mom's company when I was in 4th grade. And my twin sister, I have an identical twin, she did it with me.
And they're twins.
Yeah.
Abby and Emma. Emma hasn't been on yet, but yeah.
But when I was around like 9 years old, so after like a year of doing it, I was like, look, Sophia, that's my twin's name, this is going to be what I'm doing for the rest of my life, so pick something else. So she...
because you guys can't legitimately be in two professions. Yeah, that'd be weird.
And so then she chose sports, and I was That's working, cool. And then my parents opened a dance studio, so I've always been around that. And so, from the age of like,
what's it called? Is it
called Creation Station Studio City?
And it's in Studio City.
Yeah,
okay.
But very basically cool. From the age of 10 to 15, 16, because I joined Escape a year ago, I was bouncing around from studio to studio. I did a lot in North Hollywood. I was doing a lot down there, just anything I could find. Yeah. And then I was like, I don't really want to drive 40 minutes my parents said that. And so then I came to Escape, and theater's honestly always been an outlet for me to be like, I don't want to be an identical twin anymore, so let me be like...
That's really good backstory to know, actually. That's probably where you channel a lot of
totally. It's energy. Because everyone wants to be an identical twin until you're an identical twin.
And then you're
it's fun to not be.
Well, and a little side note, too, for all of you who don't know, this whole show that we're doing is kind of based... through Escape people that we had met and known. It's not affiliated with Escape, but that's kind of where the underlying connection is between everybody. So from there, I'm going to go into Ella, you can start on this actually, because you're in more of the position that Abby's in. You're a year older, right? Because you're going in senior year.
Yeah, I'll be a senior this year.
So how does the future look right now? Because you were just mentioning to me before we started just the college tours that you're about to do, and so what's that look like for you?
Honestly, I've had the plan since I was like 8. I want to go to college or university, conservatory style preferably. As soon as school's over, and as soon as high school's over, and then I want to go to Broadway. So hopefully, but
it's cool,
all the schools I'm auditioning for are East Coast. I don't want to be.
Want to name some of them? Because I think we just talked about some of them.
I really love Syracuse, Baldwin Wallace, Elon, Carnegie Mellon, a ton, just everything. Texas State University is the one that's on the East Coast. I love.
So good.
That's in Texas.
Oh yeah.
I heard my buddy Billy Brooks was actually telling me about how that school specifically is insane. Like
it's insane.
Awesome.
It's led by one of the best casting directors. They let 50. They're really strict on letting
that's
only
what
15
it is.
In.
It was that's what he was telling me. Is it's like that's where they have some really big casting directors there.
Yeah, it's a really great school.
That's awesome. It's cool again to see where theater is expanding throughout the country. I know they've had conservatories in different schools.
But Texas, you wouldn't expect to be like a thriving theater city.
Right. Then pass it over Jesse. Jesse.
Hello.
So you're going to Marymount.
Yes.
So what's on the agenda for you right now? Because that's next month, right?
The 23rd I leave to New York.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy.
Happens so fast.
It's seriously insane. Like, I still don't know what I'm doing with my life. Obviously, it's like I'm going for musical. Well, I'm going for a theater performance with a musical theater like emphasis.
Right.
But I mean, who knows where I'll end up? I know acting is like my number one. I want to act. I want to like try screen. I've never done screen. I mean, I've done like a film there and here, but like I've never really done. Shut up. I never really done it.
Is
like
there
anything
some background here?
No, she just giggled.
Film there and here.
I do. Shut up. Anyways, but you know what I mean? Like I've never really musical theater's been like the only thing that I've done. I've never experienced any type of like I did plays in like high school, but besides that I've never like done stuff like that, and I know acting's my number one, so we'll see where that's
well. And I think something that's interesting that I've actually talked about even a couple times on the show this show is that something I've been learning is to just do a whole lot of stuff. I mean, you guys know that I do this. I've done ton of film stuff, but I'm open to what?
I said they're so good.
Oh, thanks. I'm open to doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like photography and everything. All of that stuff, a part of the arts is huge, and I think there's a real concentration right now and kind of a negative outlook on the arts in the way that in the way that you can only do one thing.
Agreed.
And
I totally agree.
My big thing is that there should never be that perspective, because honestly, you're just looking at, social issue. At that point, you're just looking at what social media or different things are saying, right? But there's nothing limiting you to do that.
Yeah.
So you might as well try it,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
sure.
you're going to be in New York, and New York's a great place to try that. It's just the other
like even doing
version
like
of
costume
LA.
design, doing tech. Like my first show at my high school theater, I wasn't in it, but I was the tech, and randomly
cool.
they're like, "Okay, we're gonna throw you in the plant," because we were doing Little Shop of Horrors.
Is that how
and
you got?
I was like doing.
Is
the
that how
plant.
you got Audrey too? Like,
Yeah,
you were,
that's
oh my
because,
gosh.
Like they just threw me in there, and I did it, and that was probably one of like
Oh my gosh,
favorite
I didn't
shows.
even know that.
Yeah, it was.
I had no
fun.
idea. And I think, let's see what my next one is. Pass this over to Ella. Ella, we haven't really talked a whole lot about our show that we're about to do.
Oh, GFLA.
GFLA. Everybody calls it
That is a
GFLA.
ticket. Come on down.
What'd you say?
Oh, yeah.
This is not going to probably come out until next week, so it'll already be
really?
over. So
You missed it.
pray for us.
Unless you
missed
saw
it.
it. Unless they saw it.
It was fantastic.
Or pray,
Critics were
pray
raving.
for us now. Pray for us now.
LA Times loved
And
it.
just know that it already happened. Yeah, LA Times. We had some
You
major
should have seen
people
their
come.
review.
We can say whatever we want
Yeah.
because we don't know who's actually coming. So Ella,
Yes.
what are you most excited about the show?
Like a song.
You can share.
Okay.
You can share the songs you're a part of and in.
What song? I really.
Because this is kind of in
I'm
retrospect now
really
that it's not.
excited about all of them. Honestly, I can't. All of them stick out to me, so none of them stick out to me. If that makes
Yeah,
sense. Like
yeah.
they're all so good. My favorite part is watching everyone else do like their
That's
songs.
sweet.
Honestly,
Yeah.
of course I love
I
Poor
love watching
Child.
it.
I love
Poor
did you
Child.
say oh yeah, I thought we said
Poor
the same
Child's
thing. I was like,
wonderful.
effing.
No.
But no, I
We
love
didn't,
Poor
but, yeah.
Child.
What are the songs that you? I'm gonna say were. What were the songs you were in? Because this is gonna come out next week.
All of
So.
them. I'm in Your Fault and No One Is No One Is Alone.
This is not over yet.
This is not over yet.
I know you better
I
than you
forgot.
know yourself.
Evan, we're one.
Look, there's been a lot of. I've had to go through a lot. directing
And then
this, so
I Don't Care Much with which Abbey, which probably is one
From
in
Cabaret.
This, yeah, I love
From
that.
Cabaret.
I love doing it with Abby.
Wonderful. That's
Chapter.
wonderful, and you have a great voice for
Thank
all of
you.
that. It's
Thank you.
amazing. Jesse,
Yes.
Yeet.
what was I going to go into from here? I want to echo that. Just kind of the same question for you, because I know you and Trav have shared a lot of roles together.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is what songs were you in, first of all, for this show?
GFLA. First, let me think. I have to go through like my order.
You don't have just
was
your.
in-
Yeah, you can do whatever.
Well, I
yeah.
did Let Me Be Your Star with Gabby, which is so emotional because we're both leaving
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
And I'm in, what else am I in? I'm doing What Was Always Good Enough. What was that?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
you.
what was from Bonnie and Clyde
Bonnie
with
and Clyde.
Travis. That's gonna be really fun. Stay, I Pray You. Oh, that's my favorite one. That's the best one.
From
I
Anastasia.
love that one.
Wonderful
Anastasia.
show. Anastasia's a wonderful show. Yeah.
So good. Oh, This Man. Oh,
This man. The
They're
song.
all good. They're all
the
good.
song that will make everybody in the cast cry. We probably won't finish it.
yeah.
We probably. Yeah, I hope those tears don't
Oh, I'm
continue.
gonna
They
cry
probably
every
will
show.
though.
I'm gonna cry every show.
Oh, it's gonna be tough.
It's so
gonna be
good.
toughy. But
Yes.
yeah, how do you, Jesse? Like, how do you feel about making that transition to New York? Because I know that's so soon. But what are you expecting? And then kind of.
I'm
where do you
not
think it's
really,
gonna go?
honestly, I'm not expecting a lot. I'm expecting a lot of competition. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, my whole life is going to be surrounded by competition, but I just need to make
Yeah.
sure that I like stay like to myself and like
Right.
know that like I can do it if I just like, focus myself
Yeah.
and not worry about what everyone else is doing, what
Yeah.
songs they're singing. I just need to be like, you know what? I have my songs. I'm going to show them how to do, you know what I mean? Like that's
Totally.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It is crazy. It's crazy how quick that comes up. It's a totally new part of life. Ella,
Yeah.
what do you think? What would be the dream school to go to?
Oh, that's
And also,
hard.
let me piggyback off that. How do you feel about like this next year in preparation for that? This is kind of what we talked about. With
I
Abbey and
had
Gabby.
like a little epiphany about this the other day. Actually, I kind
Wow.
of was I was kind of thinking about life and like senior year, and it kind of hit me. I was like, everyone's always like, senior year, go to as many parties as you can, but all I want to do this senior year is work as hard as I can. So no, but it's not just because I'm like, I want to work hard. It's because I want to work hard because I don't, not negatively, I don't want to be an SCV anymore, so I want to work as hard as I can so I can get exactly where I want to be. Because I don't want to spend this year like slacking off. Like this is the year that determines my future, which is really, really scary to think about. Yeah. But I just want to work as hard as I can this year, and so I can get everywhere I want to be. But my dream school, that's really hard. I really love Elon because it has this thing where like their senior showcase is at an equity theater, so when you leave you have an equity card, which is like a godsend.
That's
for
amazing.
Jesse's
like, well, I'm shook.
If you read
that's
my
awesome.
college book, you would know.
Your extensive college book.
But I don't know. Honestly, it's hard to pick. I'll let you know next week because I'm going on a little college tour to like Ithaca. Oh, I love Pace. I really love Pace too. So
Pace is where Anna Lieberman is going.
Stage management.
Which is
love
killer.
her. She's my
Stage
queen,
management.
Anna.
That's
if you see this,
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've always thought that would be the coolest career.
It's
oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Because you really just call cues.
Yeah.
You do a lot
and you
in
get to be on
the
Broadway.
beginning, but you get to just 8 shows a week and just go and call.
Yeah,
and everybody gets used to it, and you just get to be the coolest career. Okay. Now I want to go into here's something interesting. Since we're on the topic of inspiring, what is the most inspiring musical that you guys have either been a part of or Jesse, you could start if you want, unless Ella's got it.
Oh gosh.
That's a toughie.
Yeah. Well, like
overall, like you could even think of it as like I guess I would say to yourself.
Yeah,
like,
well, because I get inspired in different ways. Obviously, you see a musical and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to be a part of that. But like some musicals that I've done, like one being Music Man, I tried out for Marion. I wasn't a soprano. I did the role, and it's probably my favorite role ever because
you
like
did great at that.
Thank you so much. But like it was the first time. Thanks. It was the first time I ever sang soprano. It's like it inspired me to be like, don't like put yourself in one role. You can do other things. You just gotta try. And it taught me that. And I'm like, I got inspired because now I'm not scared to sing soprano. Yeah.
Boom. That's a perfect example. Boom. I mean, clap it up for that.
Thank you, everybody.
Go best friend.
Perfect example, Strip. Really great job.
Thank you.
Ella.
Okay. Mine is like, it doesn't sound inspiring, but it has a really like personal story to me. So
that's all that matters.
I got a really great opportunity to be in Little Shop of. I said opportunity, so weird. I got in a really great opportunity to be in College of the Canyon's Little Shop of Horrors.
She's fabulous.
But it was really, really inspiring for me to be in it because the whole cast was.
That was funny. I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna soak. I thought you were gonna soak Strip over there. I was like, she's gonna drown, man. Like, geez, you're gonna drown Strip.
It was really. It was really inspiring for me because it was kind of at a time where I don't know. I felt like in a theater slump. You know, like I just wasn't. I felt like I wasn't doing anything important or I wasn't getting noticed for my like talents and stuff. And so then I went to COC and I pretty much was like,
okay. And by the way, you beat out all these college kids. Can I get Thanks. You went in there and I remember Travis telling me about this because I didn't know you yet, but Travis was like, this girl, Ella, she went in there and like kicked everybody's butt and got the lead. And, but I mean, that is pretty amazing to do that.
It was honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I went in there for audition practice. You can ask my entire family. I was like, gonna practice auditions just because I'm gonna be getting in front of panels in like a few months. So I was like, you know what? And I bombed the audition. They asked me to sing a second song because I like did so bad on the first one. And I was like, oh really? Oh my god, yeah. So there were probably like
comeback story.
I want to say like 45 girls there, and so they called back like 4 of us, and I think it was like 19, 23, and 24, and then me.
I'm just surprised because I wouldn't have expected 45 out of COC.
Yeah,
I guess
it honestly was a great amount of girls, and then I remember I got it Valentine's Day morning, and me and my mom were both crying.
Wow.
We were like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. And
I've met my true love.
And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this,
from
but
Little Shop of Horrors.
the director found out my age a week before we did the show, so you
Wow.
didn't know how old I was.
After the
I
casting?
think he was a little mad. But,
Really? After the casting?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
well, they don't ask your age at CNC, so.
Skip really slipped that one in there.
Truly.
Wow. I'm just full of knee slappers right now. So we got like 2 minutes left. So
Wow.
yeah, it goes by fast. Ella, dream theater role for you.
That's hard.
To create my own musical, Skip and Strip.
Oh my god. Details out later. But that's really hard, actually. I loved Audrey. I really love playing Audrey. But
How about something you haven't played yet? That might be
I
good.
love Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde. I think that's a
Wow.
really fun role.
It's another Laura Osnes
Yeah.
name drop.
I think Fiona's really fun too. I'd like to play Fiona someday.
Fiona. You could ask Jesse about that.
Don't talk about it.
Oh my gosh, you guys don't understand. Hold on, for a second, you guys don't have any idea right now how bad California weather is. It's like
it's
100.
so hot.
So let me explain something to you. It's 110 right now outside, and we're in the high desert, and this room is black. So it's hot, and we don't have the AC really working. It's hot. So Jesse, close us out.
Yes.
What's your favorite future dream role that you could have?
I have a dream role, but like, I don't know if I'll ever play it. But hey, you know what? I played Marion, and I didn't think I'd ever play that. But it's Sally Bowles in Cabaret. I love that role. It's so detailed. The whole musical is so beautiful. I love it. The music. Emma Stone played it.
Did Emma Stone really do that?
She did.
How old was she?
I don't know. But hey, she played it. I can play it. We'll see.
Yeah.
No, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Is everything okay?
It's okay.
Is that camera going?
This camera is going.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, so now that, again, my camera just overheated. So, Jesse and Ella, thank you for being
Our pleasure.
the second Skip and Strip.
Our pleasure.
Follow them at Skipstagram. Strips to Skip.
We'll write
It's
it.
not a thing
Hey,
yet.
and that's what she said.
But
though, Ella Kriegel on Instagram.
yeah.
That is mine.
Anyway,
Jesse
thanks
_
guys. We'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. Right now I've got with me James Evans and Emma Thomas.
Hi.
That was a sad opening, man.
What's up, guys?
But you got it out.
20.
You got it out. Okay, I wanted to start with, so for the show, for our musical show, we've really gone kind of nuts on Instagram, on social media to promote.
Yeah.
And still, you would imagine that would do it as far as ticket sales, but it's still tough. But hey, we've been selling out. James,
Yes.
we did cast member takeovers,
Yes.
and most everybody after you wanted to go together because they were intimidated by, well, first of all, how long your story was,
True. It was 12
how
minutes.
consistent it was, and how well thought out it
Thank
was. So
you.
what was it like planning the James Evans takeover of the
I
GFLA
come
page?
from a family of filmmakers, so production quality was
dang.
I know, right? Yeah, my dad is in production, and then my brother graduated
Cool.
from Chapman with a degree in directing, so I'm definitely
Oh,
around
that's
it.
cool. I
Yeah.
don't know why I didn't know that. Awesome.
Yeah, so I definitely like have the concept and like the need for production quality and
For
just
sure.
like production value, just to
I can
keep
see it.
audiences interested in what you're watching. It doesn't matter. I remember a weird story, but Casey Neistat, I was watching one of his vlogs, and he said
The goat.
his vlogs is not about like, let me make what my day is interesting.
Yeah.
He always tries to make it like a film. It's like there's the beginning, right?
Yep. Yep.
There's the conflict, there's the climax, and then there's a resolution. That's what
Yep.
he tries to do through every one of his vlogs and just daily life.
So then how
even
did
if
you
it's
do
not
that?
much-
How did you do that in the takeover then?
Oh, man,
Did
know,
you?
I don't know if I really. Yeah, there
It was
wasn't-
definitely
I guess
the most awesome.
conflict is definitely subjective. I guess it was like. I guess the conflict of I need to go get breakfast, so let's go get breakfast.
Right.
Boom, got breakfast.
Yeah.
Resolved. And just I guess through that and the
I didn't even
making
think of
like-
it like that, but I think that
yeah,
works.
it's small conflict. Yeah, I guess in like the filmmaking world, conflict doesn't have to be like oh my God, my wife and child were taken, and I'm Liam Neeson. Let me go do some stuff. But yeah, but
that was so deep.
I know, but you know, well, yeah, it's Taken and Taken 2.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
But yeah, so just those things, and then making bits, just like keeping audiences like reoccurring and recognizable things, just to keep audiences interested.
And by the way, I think that was the most viewed. I remember looking at the page.
290.
It was a lot because we don't.
220. All right, sorry.
It was a lot because we started. That page had way less followers even, and you brought like 25 that day.
Cool.
And you get like 500 likes on your Instagram, and we have like the same tally. And I was like, shoot, we had the same amount of followers, and you're killing it. Okay, Emma. I was gonna go into kind of Emma or Abby touched on how. You guys both grew up in your mom's theater company. What is it called again? What's the name of it?
Broadway Bound Players.
Broadway Bound. That's right. Remember that. What was it like kind of growing up in the program for you? Because we talked about Abby and you guys are twins. So I know Ella talked about her twin, but you guys are actually twins in the cast. So what was all of that like growing up?
Growing up, it was really cool just to be a part of it all because I didn't know that I wanted to do this until this year, honestly. Yeah. Like when I was younger, I was always in the back, just ensemble.
Right.
That's like, and I was happy with that. Like that's what I wanted to be. Yeah. And then just like watching all because her company now is more for younger kids, but originally it was with like my sister stopped doing it when she was like almost 18, I think. So it was for like older kids and older adults as well.
Yeah. Which is cool.
It was really fun. And just like seeing the older influences there was like really cool.
Oh yeah.
And like that's kind of what led me to do this. Like it was really fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I know that like it's been cool because you know I don't want to be this guy, but like you guys had the Clennas in your program.
Yeah.
And you know Derek had such a crazy success story, and Dylan's doing great things as well. He's at Fullerton, right? What kind of influence did your mom kind of have with those families? Because they were a lot younger.
Yeah,
when they started, right?
Yeah. I think she just kind of helped them like find their way into wanting to do this because I know like Derek used to play baseball and he was so good and he was like going to go into that instead. But then I think she kind of pushed him along into being like, oh wait, like musical theater is what I want to pursue. And I think that's really what she did for him.
Well, that's awesome. Shout out. What is it, Mama Thomas? Is
Mama Susan.
Mama Susan, yeah. Shout out Mama Susan. Wow, I'm about to, that was a fail. Mama Susan.
Mama Thomas. I mean, hey.
Mama Thomas, that's
we
pretty
got Mama
dope.
Susan, Mama Suze, like.
It kind of rhymes. Okay, back to James. James.
Yes.
So I know you're from a little bit of a different background because you're going to University of Miami for jazz vocals.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Thank you.
Such an achievement. You know, like there's that. You know, you're one of the 3 that we've already talked to that are heading off into a really prestigious school. How did musical theater help your vocals and also just like your path? Because I know that wasn't a thing really until you did what show it was. I mean,
just when I joined theater this year.
Yeah, it was senior year.
Senior year, I joined theater. Yeah,
and you did Curious Incident.
You
played? Didn't you play the lead?
No, he was one of the I guess leading characters. Roger.
Yeah. Roger. What was that like?
A smaller part. Well, in terms of just theater.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me I'll take it back a little bit. So, I guess my journey with like music and then eventually moving me into musical theater didn't start until like my sophomore year. I've played drums since I was like 4, and I've learned a few instruments, and I always knew I could sing because of my mom.
Yeah, what are those instruments? Because you always talk about
drums, guitar, piano, and I can play the saxophone.
Pretty well versed.
Thank you.
Pretty well versed.
And then and I never really thought anything of it besides like playing in a church band or like doing a talent show here and there and stuff like that. Just nothing that's like anything that was going to come of it. And then sophomore year, I was at another school and I was playing sports. And I was just thinking like, this isn't really what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I kind of want to start thinking about my career now. So I transferred to Valencia and I just joined choir and I was just singing and I didn't think anything was going to come of it. But then I just fell in love with like singing and just this music in general. And then I had friends in the theater program And that eventually enticed me in. I almost was in it my junior year, but I couldn't because of scheduling issues. Right. But I got in my senior year, and it was just an entirely new experience to add a character to music, because now you have a song, but now you are a person who sings that song.
And even if you don't stay in musical theater, I'm sure that helps you, because I always found that, because I had a similar background with playing piano and drums growing up, and I felt or even just singing contemporary after being in musical theater, it's hard because it's hard to make a connection, right? Because you have a character generally in musical theater. I can see how that would have, helped play into now your future. Because you've mentioned you have to be in a bunch of ensembles.
Yeah, 2 ensembles per semester.
Wow. Yeah. And those are 1 unit, aren't they? They're like,
I believe so. Some of them are zeros. But
Wow.
So
it's nice.
but usually the ensembles are year long. So and I can be in the same ensemble for multiple years. I don't have to choose a new one. But if I ever wanted to, I guess it's more of an opportunity than kind of a downset. Right. To be in as many as I could, because I can do a concert choir or a jazz band along with being in a vocal jazz ensemble, whether it's large or small. And I guess to also go off your question, in a broader sense, musical theater and just theater in general, yes, it helped me specifically. I definitely have increased my range upward. I was a full on bass, kind of, but now I'm kind of more in the baritone range. I can at least go into that range.
Right.
But in a broader sense, I guess, and you can kind of think of it in anything, right? If you're going to college for cinematography, but you have to learn about, something about the 1800s, which you can't apply directly, you can apply indirectly. So I guess the ability to learn in theater and musical theater, and the ability ability to be able to gain that knowledge, even if you're not going to directly apply it, was great, because I know that there's going to be some way that I can indirectly apply it to anything I do in the future, whether that's acting or singing or, you know what I mean? Just that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Clap it up. That was a great, that was a really...
Oh, where? He said, I'm going to the University of Miami, the Frost School of Music.
University of Miami.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
In Coral Gables.
That was a perfect way. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
Totally is. I mean, that I understand that, being on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Seeing where you're about to come.
I mean, even my major in jazz vocals, the market for jazz right now is not, jazz. Kanye's not going to come out with a jazz album anytime soon. But, it's a niche genre to explore. And it's a very, I guess, difficult for some genre of music to master. And I guess I want to get to that level of, not even mastery, but just proficiency. Because then I can always take that and move it into other, I guess, the concept of indirectly applying to move it into other genres of music, or even, musical theater. I can branch out into a whole spectrum. So
that's what we talked about with Jesse and Ella a little bit, is not being afraid of that stuff. Emma. I was looking at the other notes. Emma, I know who you are. Emma, what's, we've kind of talked about, we've been in actually the unique position of each group having one going off and one staying. I didn't even think about that. What's you mentioned that you're planning ahead now, trying to, at least, right? I don't know. You had said that you weren't really big on it until more recently.
Yeah.
Right. Trying to pursue it. What's kind of the goal right now?
I'm really into film, television.
Sweet. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Because I've been doing musical theater, like Abby said, with my mom
all the way through
since forever. But it's I've loved that, but I noticed I really like acting more, obviously it's brought together, but it's just I liked more of the acting aspect of musical theater, I think.
Oh, that's really cool. And I think it's good. I noticed, for me, it actually, my experience with musical theater, even though I haven't really done any acting since senior year, I still have totally see that I've reaped the benefits of being a part of it, even though I may not continue acting, right? I might one day, but right now it's it's a direct influencer for me when I try to go and direct now. Not just our cabaret, but on set, it helps me because you start understanding I understand what it's like to be an actor, so I can relate with you in this moment, or I can help you really draw that out. That's really cool. So then what's like the goal then? Are you trying to see if you can go and like, are you trying to still go away to school for that? Or are you trying to do film and television, like that kind of route? Or are you trying to go just acting, or like, it's hard to say.
More film, television, but I do know I want to go to the East Coast for school.
Cool.
Yeah.
Also 16. Yeah. 16. Obviously you guys are twins, so you have time. Yeah. You have a little bit of time, but obviously you want to start thinking ahead, right? Yeah. I mean, the cool thing is, the unique thing about our show is I've noticed that each individual involved is very conscientious of their future. Yeah. And I don't really remember that with the casts that I was a part of. Like, most of my friends were down for it, but they really were just like, I'll just take it. And then a lot of them didn't go. Mm-hmm. And that killed me. I hated seeing a lot of them not get to, their potential.
Right.
But, James, yes. I'll go back to you. What's like your favorite part of, being in this show? Obviously it will have already happened, but what was your favorite part of being in it, knowing that it might, it's like your last hurrah here before you go off to school?
The cast, first off, is incredible because I've got to work with friends, and I got to work with new people who I've never met before, and I've always, you
were a last second addition. Travis had mentioned you early on, because me and Travis started working on this way back in late December, early January. Mm-hmm. So this has been like 6 months coming.
Right, yeah.
And I remember him mentioning you, but not sure if we could get you, or, and he's like, he'd be perfect. And when Mikey Burson couldn't do it, mm-hmm. you were kind of like the piece. Same with Draytin, who's going to be on later, because we needed tenors too, right, yeah. So I don't know if you want to keep going.
Yes.
I don't know where that was not really a
No, you're good. Cast, great. I've never really gone in like, I guess, a full-scale production of like pure music. I mean, like detail scenes and stuff like that. But like, we were gonna do a musical at Valencia, but we ended up doing Curious, and it was great. But it was a play. It was a drama play with no music in it, kind of stuff like that. So I guess this is a kind of like my first and full opportunity to do like full-on music, like song after song.
Sure.
Also the variety, like, I mean, the spectrum of the songs that we are doing,
the set
and stuff
list
like that.
Is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, my limited knowledge of musical theater is not matched by the things that these guys know, and you guys can pull out a whole repertoire of things that like I can't. So being able to learn those songs and then those all branch out into the eras, and you can learn the history and stuff like that. So the music itself, and just the environment overall is really awesome. Being able to...
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It was fun. Sad. Wow. I can't believe it's gonna be over, and the weekend will have already been over by now. But actually, I want Emma. You want to speak to that too? What's your opinion on? Because this is also starting to head toward when Travis comes on in a little bit. Mm-hmm. What's your opinion as a cast member on like on the songs that you're in? Like, you can speak to what songs you were in, and also like what's your opinion on like the whole set list? Like, I feel like it's a really unique. I think the whole vibe of the show came from that, and he toiled away at that forever.
Yeah, this is like the first show that I've been a part of that I'm like really, really proud of, like the songs I'm in, and like
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like it's like I don't know how long it's been since I've had like a duet or like a solo in something, so it's just like
it's hard because they don't write those all the time, for all these shows.
So it's like really fun to be a part of this, and all the songs I'm in, like I've noticed from the beginning to like where we are now, it's just like it's honestly like helped me grow more like into my voice. Like, I've noticed that. I was gonna just about to talk about how like proud me and Jesse have been to watch that happen, because it is annoying because you like, it's within you, you have the growth, and you want to show it, but it's hard. I was definitely on that side of the cabaret that we originally did a long time ago, that I was a part of acting wise. I was at like the bottom of the talent level, and it was hard because I was like, shoot, I have to like build myself up. I was also one of the youngest in it. I was 16 when I did it, so I remember that.
So, you know, kudos to you for really stepping in, because like in Poor Child, that you really stand out in that one. Wonderful.
Thanks.
In Poor Child, and you're great in the Into the Woods stuff. And
I think that's my favorite. Your
is
fault.
It?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Your
like
fault.
being a child.
Your fault is it's pretty dope.
I think
it's awesome.
I think like just going off of what you were saying, like to talk about like being able to express yourself in your voice. I think how I thought about it is I always like thought like, man, I really want to get into that range of my voice, or I really want to hit that note and stuff like that. But I never had the medium to do it. So not only does DFLA, like I think you can say this too, like not only has this given us like the platform to work with, right? But it's also given us the song choice and the medium to perform at that level. I agree. You know what I mean? It's like
they're all vocally challenging songs. Right, holy cow. I mean, I'm very thankful that, you know, for you guys, you were able to get it as quick as you did. I really wanted to push the pace of the show to really see if we could get to the point where we're running it early.
Sure, right.
And at this point in time, we've run it probably 5 times all the way through, even with lights and everything. And that just makes everything else in the process easy, because then you just come in and day out and do it, and you're done. But you get to enjoy it, you know? So that's really neat. I was going to go into kind of, I don't know, how much time do we have? Okay, good. Perfect. Favorite song from a musical? Emma, do you have this more dialed in? This is hard for James, because James doesn't.
Well, it's hard because of my limited knowledge, but it's also hard because of like my indecisiveness.
Okay, all right, Emma, you know a lot of theater, so for the most part, you've been around it.
Yeah. My favorite song is "I'm Here" from The Color Purple, and I just
that's a great one.
and I just saw that at the Pantages, or was it the Pantages?
Yeah, it was at Pantages. Yeah.
And it was so good, and it was like my first time seeing that show and like experiencing it, so it was just like amazing, and like
I love hearing shows like that aren't always the run of the mill shows.
Yeah.
You know, Cynthia Erivo made that show awesome, big again. You know, because there's a movie. It was the Oprah Winfrey and everybody. And a book. Thank you for it was a book first.
I guess I'll go all the way back to the first interview. Jimmy Marino showed me "Say It to Me Now" from Once, and I actually used that as an audition song for one of my colleges. So that's a great one. Yeah, Jimmy Marino. Love that guy. So that's a great one.
We love him.
Oh my goodness.
He's probably gonna be on actually.
Yeah?
No way.
Dude.
He I know. I get chills because I love how innovative he is.
Too. He's incredible.
Oh my gosh. We were talking. So good. We were chatting, I think it was a year or 2 ago, about doing this video thing for his band. And that's right when his original musical got picked up and they performed it and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. I called him when he found out, and he's just freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, crazy. But keep going.
Yeah, so that one's great. I love So Anyway, the final song, or not final song, but one of the closing songs in Next to Normal.
Yes. Next to Normal is wonderful.
Yeah.
I love Light from Next to Normal.
Yeah.
You heard that song? We did that in the original Cabaret. I love that show.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the song you
In Sudden Vision.
Yeah, I sang that as my senior song for.
Oh, did you really?
For the choir concert for this. Oh,
that's
concert.
neat.
Yeah, I took it down an octave, and then did it as a guy song. So.
And then last thing, really quick, because we got to wrap up. Emma, favorite. This is another favorite Broadway actor. If you could play actor or actress, who would you play?
Okay, this is weird because I'm a girl, but like I would want to be Corey Cott because I just love. Like,
I love him.
I love him, and like.
What about Casey Cott?
No, Corey's better.
Corey's better, but like, I mean, but like, come on.
Casey
I listened to him singing this like what is it? Wicked thing, and it was like really good. And I was like, okay.
I heard him do that too. He's on Riverdale though, so he might never come on Broadway with how popular that is. Okay, James.
Leslie Odom Jr. 100%. I'd be
Leslie
Odom Jr.
You know his wife is playing the lead in Waitress now.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Nicolette.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, well, for 3 reasons. One, because he's done Broadway, but he also has 2 jazz albums out, so he's done it both. And I'm like, if someone can do it, that means I can do it.
I love his Autumn Leaves video. That's my favorite video.
He's played one of my dream roles, which I know I can never play, which is Aaron Burr from Hamilton.
That's your dream role?
Yeah, dude. It's a good
role.
It's a really good role. It's not. I don't know if I have a dream role, but like that's a really good role that I love to be.
I love that.
And his voice is just incredible. And I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl. There was a Ella Fitzgerald and Dizzy Gillespie 100th anniversary.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, I went to the Hollywood Bowl and saw that Dizzy Gillespie 100th anniversary concert. There we go. I can say it. And he sang "Someone to Watch Over Me," which is another song I used for my college auditions. And when I saw that full orchestra, like the whole deal, it was crazy. I was like, Leslie Odom Jr., you are my favorite person.
Yeah. If you could become a black man, you would be sought after. I've never seen a white guy play that role.
Which one?
Burr. Like,
I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
He was white though. In real life, he was a white guy.
Yeah. Well, so was Hamilton and all those guys.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Emma and James, thanks for being on.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you for having us.
We got one more group for you coming soon.
One more.
Be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. Today, now we have, I'm used to saying that. Now we have Justin Parrish, Travis Rogers, and Draytin Freude. That's right. That's the right way to say your last name.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I want to start with Travis because Trav is the one who created the show.
Yup.
Very excited about this whole process too. What was like the motivation behind creating the show?
Well, like the initial idea for the show came from one of the songs in the show. It's the Act 2 opener. It's called Lament. It's a really old song from Seven Brides or Seven Brothers. And that's a song that I saw the movie Seven Brides or Seven Brothers somewhere last year. And that song is all guys, and it's like a cool, really beautiful song.
Yeah.
And I got the idea. I was like, how cool would it be if I got some of my guy friends to do that song? And then I kind of evolved into like, what about a whole cabaret show?
Yeah.
I went up to my friend Mikey Burson, and I suggested it to him, and he said that he had been thinking about that too. And we originally started collaborating and making this project.
Yeah.
At a point, he had to drop out, and I pulled you in around the same time to direct it, and then it kind of all sprouted from that point.
Right when I remember that happening right when he kind of had to drop out. That's when we really hit the ground running. Because we had talked about it. We had talked about it back in December or January, right when we were on our trip, and at that point Mikey was still involved. Mm-hmm. And then from there we just kind of went for it. But it was cool, I think, for us to have 6 months now before the show. Yeah, we had so much pre-production time that it benefited. I was gonna go into also like what was it like building the set list, because the set list is probably the most powerful thing about this piece, because it's a lot of old, for those of you who don't know, it was a lot of old traditional music with actually a good amount of ensemble, quintets, quartets, trios, and duets. It was a really cool mix.
The first thing I wanted a bit with the show, especially when I was picking the cast too, is I wanted it to be united.
Yeah.
I didn't want there to be some standouts
here
and there. So there's no solo songs in the entire show. I wanted it to be a group effort.
Right.
The smallest amount of people is a duet. There's a couple duets.
Yeah,
which I like.
Four of them, I think.
Somewhere around there. But picking, I'm an old soul. I love all old Hollywood.
Definitely
all
an old soul.
So
we're very different. Me and Travis couldn't be more different. Yeah.
There's a lot of inspiration came out of that.
Yeah.
And then there is a lot of newer-ish songs that
Broadway right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an assortment of songs that people don't know. So some of them are a little more common than others. Some people may know if you're a musical theater fan. But I wanted to give a taste of like when people come to the show, it's something new that they're hearing and something very beautiful. I didn't want it to be too intense. There's a couple moments that get a little bit more intense than others, but
I wouldn't even call it intense.
Yeah, it's not even intense. It's just
not
always glitzy, So it's like
glitzy and glam.
But I wanted to keep it pretty for the audience. I didn't want it to be a show where it's like you're sitting through it. It's kind of hard to watch. It's like, it's impressive, but it's not my favorite thing to watch. I wanted it to be very pleasant because a cabaret show in itself is hard. All singing. It's hard to pull off.
It's hard to gain people's attention.
Yeah, you want to keep people's attention the entire time. So.
And before I get to Justin and Draytin, what last little bit with you, like setting the origin of the show and stuff. It's also, I think you and I share the collaborative process where we really like to bring people in. What was it to you like with this cast many of the people have already seen who are going to watch have seen most of the cast. Right. What was it about bringing everybody together, and who, and how did that come about?
Well, we're blessed in Santa Clarita to have amazing young talent, like incredible young talent. This never happens. So it's like never. That's another thing that spurred the show, as I wanted to show off the talent of high schoolers in this town. Like, it's ridiculous how much talent there is.
Especially in the public school sector. It's nuts.
Right. Yeah. And on top of that, I built friends, people that would love each other throughout the cast. I didn't want there to be any conflict, because there's shows where you get in a cast where you don't like another person, and
it sucks.
There's feuding and there's drama. I wanted it to be
that was the unique thing about this show, is you guys were able to pick who you wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? We didn't have open auditions. It was like you picked who you wanted, fitted the songs and music to them. And then everybody was already, pretty good friends. Right. And then you guys have that that's the advantage, I think, to this cast.
Yeah. And I also wanted to incorporate seniors, because it's their last thing. It's their last thing before,
moving on. Three of them moving on.
Four.
Grant moving moving on to college.
I wanted it to be an amazing experience for them. I didn't want there to be any drags in the whole ordeal. So that was something I pushed for.
No, it's excellent. It's been a really fun thing to be a part of for me, because there hasn't been a whole lot that me or Jesse Dempsey had to do on the vocal end, because everybody was really killing it, and we just had to put in basic stuff. Now over to Justin Parrish. Justin, what? I don't know what just happened. I'm looking at my thing. I can't see. Justin, what was the motivation for you to? I'm using that word a lot today, I realize. It's probably because this group to me is really inspiring too. Everybody's really committed to the craft, and it's hard to find people like that even at my age, just a couple years ahead of you. It's hard to find people that are actually motivated. So what was the motivation, and when did you actually get into theater? I don't know any of your background actually, besides Valencia.
It was I remember the first time I ever fell in love with doing theater was the first grade. I performed My Girl with a bunch of my classmates, and we were all paired up with a girl, and we were all like, oh, girls, they have cuties and whatever. But it's gonna sound super bad, but I loved being the center of attention. Yeah, I loved just all the attention. And then later on, I really got into the whole aspect of inspiring people when I'm acting. Right, I feel like it's just one of the most beautiful things in the world to see someone on stage and be like, I love that. I love what they do up there. It's also amazing to have people that come up to you and say I've been through that. I relate to that character, and and it's just one of the best things in the world. And
absolutely,
and not just inspiring people off stage to to do acting or
to feel comfortable and
but it's also the people on stage, because I feel a lot of acting and a lot of plays and musicals, people feed off of each other. Oh yeah, if you're energetic, the other person's going to be energetic, and it's just going to keep on building.
It's really a chain reaction, right? I mean, it totally the pacing and the motivation, the mood and motivation behind every scene is dictated by how much one person.
That's something really cool about this show too, is because everyone is just as on fire for what they're doing as the next person. So there's no drag on stage. It's you are so in love with what you're doing, and it's the greatest. It's so fun to do. Yeah, it's not a burden at any point, Right. So that's fun.
Pass it over to Draytin. Draytin, I have the similar question for you. You didn't even really know you were going to be on today, so welcome. What for you? Kind of where did it start? Where is it maybe going eventually with theater and everything?
Okay, so my theater start is very cliche. My grandparents, they buy season tickets to the Pantages, and ever since I was younger, I always showed interest in wanting to go. And I remember the exact moment where I was this is what I need to do in my life. Sure. I was watching Wicked, and I was 8 years old. I'm not kidding. At the Pantages. Bless. I think it was Eden Espinosa who was playing Elphaba. And and I remember Defying Gravity. Literally, that's the only
Defying Gravity for you.
No, that's the only thing I remember from that production was me sitting there her thousands of feet up in the air. Probably not thousands, but like to me it was so high. No, literally to me it was so high. And like her just singing that and me just sitting there.
But as a kid, that's what it feels like.
Literally full body chills. And like as like a little kid, like I don't feel like a lot of people feel that like as like kids because they don't really get that.
No, they don't understand.
But like I don't know. It's always ever since then. It's always been like literally since then. I like threw myself into theater. Like like every chance at school I could get, I was like always trying to be there.
Yeah.
I did the Canyon Theater Guild, which is a local.
Oh, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
Me and Draytin did.
Yeah. We did a workshop one summer. We did Into the Woods together. That's the first time we met.
Wow.
Yeah. It was funny. He was a prince. I was the baker, and it was really fun. But the first time ever, I was probably 10. It was like a year after that. I did a summer workshop, like one of the little kid ones, and like ever since then, I've always been like pushing myself into theater.
Right.
Let's
pass it over to Justin. That was wonderful, Justin. I'm going to pass this down the line because we've been talking a lot about future with everybody because everybody here seems to be pretty much committed to it full time in our cast, and that's pretty cool. Obviously things can change.
We're missing a few members of the cast.
Yeah, we're missing Chloe Rodriguez and Grant McMahon, but two really talented people. But Justin, because you're a senior this year at Valencia, what's it looking like for you right now as far as schools, and what are you thinking?
I'm not as prepared as I would like to be, but I feel like senior year is the time where I'm just going to be like really for it. And
probably that that is good, right? Like the fact that that you're maybe not where you want to be is good. You're going to keep going. Yeah.
And I really want to go to college for theater acting, stage acting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm not as I haven't been doing musical theater as much as all the other people in the cast.
Right.
James, but yeah, I've just always been in love with acting in general because I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like this is really cliche to say, but it's like I love expressing feelings through my words and like, being something new every single time and just finding things about yourself when you're not yourself. And I think that's like, it's crazy.
And it's wonderful too to think, just briefly too, for me, it's wonderful to know what theater does to a guy, right? But what I mean by that is, for me growing up playing sports, I know James mentioned that background for him. All I did was sports, and I didn't do theater.
I did baseball for a little bit.
I did
baseball.
Me too.
Yeah, and it's hard. A lot of times, it's hard. It's tough to really say like, what's the dividing line between a jock and somebody who's more empathetic, right? For me, I felt like I lived both of those lifestyles at the same time because I was playing sports and doing theater at the same time in high school. And
get some flack.
Yeah, and I got flack for it. I did, and I hated that. I hated that my best friends were like, "Why are you doing that?" And they wouldn't see my shows, and and that sucks. But what I'm getting to is that it really like teaches a guy how to be empathetic and how that is actually something you need. Passing over to Travis now, that's something that's so important to your life ahead. The greatest men I know are the men who know how to empathize, because you know how to have a family, you know how to relate to people. It's how it goes. Travis, where is your future heading? Like, what would you hope to?
Well, as of now, I'm going to be going to Valencia next year. As a junior, and then, but yeah, I'm going into musical theater. We grew up together. We're brothers,
friends.
So we're friends too. I grew up doing.
We're friends.
Doing sports like you, but I started into theater a little earlier.
Yeah, because you kind of saw the path that I was on, and it was killing me. I hated it.
You're 4 years older, and I saw that it was no fun to do sports in high school anymore, and I was loving theater.
Because in California, everybody's like in basketball, in the basketball world especially, in high school, everybody's like trying to.
It's like you're
push you to go to the league, man.
Right, exactly.
You can't go to the league.
You're in high school basketball.
Gosh.
You're not having fun.
Playing 8 months a year. Yeah, it's nuts.
Right. So I was like, I saw you going through that, and I didn't want to do that, but I was also developing like a fierce love for theater and musical theater. So,
what school would you like to land at?
Okay, I mean, it's already been said, but Carnegie Mellon is the dream school. But actually, I really, really love Baldwin Wallace, which is like one of my favorites. Because
Ohio. I'm looking at my girlfriend.
School. I mean, I'm going to apply to a ton of schools, but Baldwin Wallace I really love because I think it is excellent education for a lot cheaper than a lot of the big schools.
Oh, so, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'm super into that school for me. And then the ultimate goal is Broadway for me.
Broadway.
I mean,
Broadway bound.
Broadway musical.
I think that's
Mama Susan. Mama Susan. That's it. Not Mama Thomas. Mama Susan.
I'm actually something I'm really into too is I really love to do a dance show because I do a lot of dancing. I do a lot of tap dancing specifically, but there's someone I follow. I follow what he does. His name is Tony Yazbek, and he just did an all dancing show, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I like that's something that I'm interested in doing at some point too.
So that's Draytin. That's awesome, Draytin. Whoa! What's the goal for you? We haven't really talked about that ever.
The goal for me is
because you're senior year at Saugus High School.
Yeah,
Saugus High School, wonderful Saugus High School.
Yeah.
Love Saugus.
Yeah.
You're the only one from Saugus.
Yep, I'm the only one from Saugus.
Everybody else is like Valencia or West Ranch or Canyon.
Yeah. Or West Ranch. Oh yeah, Ella's the only. Wait, is Ella the only one from West
SCBI.
Ranch?
Yeah, Ella's the only one.
Ella's from West Ranch. So you and Ella are just
yeah.
So what's your future?
My future is definitely college for musical theater. I want to get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Travis mentioned the other day that you weren't sure, and I'm like.
I am 100% sure. I've always been 100% sure.
I thought you were talking because you were talking about science or something.
I was talking about minoring in forensic pathology.
And that's like
you should.
That's the coolest thing ever.
You should.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah,
I'm confused.
I've thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Theater kid.
Yeah, that's it.
Forensic.
Yeah. I definitely want to do that. As for like schools, I really love Pace. And I love Marymount and Syracuse and all those things. NYU. I'm gonna try for NYU. We'll see.
Have you ever met Zach Kemper? Have you ever met him? Okay, he's coming to the show. You should. He went to Pace. Mm-hmm. He went to Pace for a year, and he came back because he was just having some life problems. But he loved it there.
Yeah, I really want to go there.
And he went for acting. He didn't go for singing.
That's what I'm thinking about doing because the musical theater program is a lot harder to get into.
Well, and I'll. Do that. You know Camden too. Camden Espino. He's been on the show, but that's what he's doing. He's studying at Lee Strasberg at NYU for acting, for like drama. He's not even doing musical theater, but an advantage for him is that he's actually still taking with a coach.
Yeah.
And he's still doing some dance and different things. So he still has that with him, but he's learning how to really act, which I think that is what pushes you over the edge as a, musical theater.
Justin?
Oh yeah, Justin.
Well, I did have like a top school. It's SUNY Purchase. It's like upstate
I don't know
York.
if I even know what that is.
It's a community college, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's and at least
doesn't matter where you go, by the way. Doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah. It's just the education.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
To be honest, like for me, school is just to get my degree.
Yeah.
I didn't choose school because I knew it would get me somewhere. Because frankly, where I'm at for film is not where I would want to be. But at the same time, that doesn't matter because you can still do what you want. You still make what you want.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Guarantee you work.
Michigan does right now.
There's been about like 4 people from Valencia that have gotten into Purchase, and so much so that they asked our theater teacher, Mr. Whalen, to come out there and so they know who Valencia people are and they know who Whalen is. So
shout out Whalen. I want to try to have you on the show.
Shout out.
If you watch this, I would love to have you on the show if I get to know you one day.
He is the best mentor, the best, and he's such a good friend too. I don't think I've ever been closer to, except for my parents, but like I don't think I've ever been closer to like an adult than Whalen, and it's just crazy. He's such a cool guy. Yeah,
it's wonderful. That's funny because like the aim for this show is, like I was just saying to people in here, was just that hopefully to eventually expand to doing more than just are, you know, like my peers and stuff, but actually have legitimate people on here, hopefully. Draytin, I wanted to ask you.
We're not.
I knew something. I knew I was going to say something that screwed with everything. Draytin, I wanted to ask you to like go. I didn't really hint on you with like the talking about the like empathy and how that, you know, is like such a huge thing. How has the arts like created like a safe space for you? Because I know everybody in the cast could say something like that. But I know that, you know, I felt that from you a lot, is that it's like a place where you could just be you.
Oh,
you know
100%.
Right.
Definitely. Like coming into a theater, like with people that like love you and like accept you for who you are, like that is truly an amazing thing. And also like having so many different emotions inside of you and a lot of them not being heard or like being allowed to be spoken, you can really, and that's why okay, people don't know this, but I love dramatic acting. That is honestly my favorite. That's my favorite thing. Like I know Justin loves it too. That's like one of my favorite things to watch and to perform, because there's certain like frustrations and like things or like things you wish you could say that you can't out loud, and you can like I feel,
but it can come out in the material.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I especially feel that through, it's strange, but I feel it through like songs. Like I feel that through like musical theater songs, like whether it be men or like women's songs, but I also feel it in the orchestration of songs too. It's
wonderful.
Weird. There's so many songs that when I listen to make me want to cry, not just like the words, but like the orchestra, like the strings, like I get chills like thinking about, and also it comes from like passion too. It comes from passion for the art and for the pieces, you know, but like there's just something that like takes over me sometimes when I like listen to a song. Like there are many songs that do that to me. A lot of Miss Saigon does it to me. Astonishing from Little Women, that one does it to me. There's so many different songs that like get me in this like space that like I feel like through like the journey of the song, like I can feel my own emotions like being let out, even though I'm not performing it or saying it. It's being put out into the world by something. So like theater is for me a safe space in like the whole theater world. Is a safe space. Like it's not just like performing, but
Trav,
like,
you guys probably want to hit off that. I love that.
Something to that. I remember saying something, and I don't want to like hype myself up or anything. I don't want to like hype myself up or anything, but like I said, like in the theater, like you are like almost never yourself, but it's like always the most like the best place to be yourself. And like that's like the thing I live by is like
that's a really good way to put it. I haven't heard it said that way. That's the reason you wanted to say it.
What Draytin was talking about with orchestrations and composing, the shows that move people most are the ones organically coming from writers, not that are produced. Like there's shows on Broadway right now. I'm gonna name
Disney
them.
shows.
Like Disney shows
Frozen.
can be great. They can be, but like right now, Mean Girls, horrible show. All right, I'm sorry, it's bad. All right, listen, Mean Girls and Frozen. Those are not. They're not gonna make you feel something. I love those. Okay, all right.
That was really high.
Like I love those shows. I love those shows because I'm a firm believer that Broadway should take you to a different place, into a different world. I love those for those aspects. But if we're talking about empathy, the shows that'll move you are the ones written by people that have an intense passion for the project. No, like they don't even matter if it's going to be good or bad. They just want to get their material out there and they want to speak it, because those shows are the shows that move you. Those are the shows that will really make you feel something, you know.
Y'all hearing this? I mean, these guys are 16, 17, 18. Sounds like they got it. I mean, you guys, thanks for being on it. And I'm really thankful to have been a part of this experience too, because I think it's very important before you ship off to college and stuff. I've thought about this, is to really have that collaboration with people you actually love to work with. For us, it was sudden vision when we did it, because it was cool to do a show with our friends that wasn't same like something like this, but I've never seen something so close knit, you know what I mean, as far as the cast. and the message of the show and everything it's just a unique thing, you know, and I feel like people are going to miss out if they don't get to see it, you know. So, and you guys have all got such a bright future. It's been really cool to have, how many do we have on here today? 7, 8,
no,
9? 9. Yeah. 9 of you on today. And this is going to be really special. So
what about favorite musical?
Fast, really fast, because we're running out of time.
Miss Saigon. Yeah.
Boom.
Said it.
Okay. Bandstand. Okay, but wait. But the one that inspires me. Okay, but you said earlier to one of the other castmates, you said what inspires you the most. It's Great Comet. Great Comet of 1812. David
All right, Justin.
do something with composing.
The Wild Party.
Amazing.
Wow.
That is amazing.
It's I could talk about that forever, but I won't.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for being on the show. Thank you, cast that is remaining in here. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at 1 and 20 Show, and stay tuned. I'd like to hear too if you guys have any suggestions or anything as we kind of build a following now. So as far as guests and everything. So thank you for watching.